Hello, welcome to Module 1 of Study Abroad and Be Positioned for Success online course. This module covers evaluating your course of study. I remain your facilitator, Obi Bridget Azubuike, and I'm so excited to be taking you through Module 1 today. So let's go into it. What does it mean to evaluate? To evaluate means to assess something, and then with regards to the course you're studying, you want to be able to assess the course to ensure that you can make the most of it. You want to be sure that it is the right course for you. That's the reason why we are talking about evaluation. And this is important because it is unlikely that you knew all the details of the course when you applied. That's the fact about studying abroad. You probably know a general you have a general idea of the course you want to study, but you may not know everything about the course. So you want to make sure that you assess the course very well so that you can excel at it. And that's what we'll be discussing today. The reason is that there are different strokes for different folks. Number one, the course is a right fit, aligned to your post-study goals. So for some people, when they apply for the course, they already have a clear goal of studying that course. Is fit for them. They are prepared for the course. For some people, it's just because they got a specific scholarship for that particular course. That's why they choose it. They really don't know much about it, but when they heard that, oh, there's a scholarship available, they decided that would be the best course to take. For some, they study the course at the undergraduate level, so they believe that it is worth studying again for their master's degree. Others, they studied one course and then decide that, oh, I want to change to a nicer course, and so they just take on a new course. So these are some of the different reasons why people take their courses. In my own case, I studied economics on the undergraduate level, and I knew that that's what I wanted to study for my master's degree. And I also knew that I wanted to continue in that field, either through work or in academia. So that was the reason for my own choice of my master's degree. But to evaluate your course, these are some of the questions that can help you evaluate your course. One of them is the course too mathematical, theoretical, or technical for me? So for example, when I studied economics, the issue with our course was at the beginning it was a bit mathematical. So they were doing a lot of derivations, a lot of mathematical concepts that we even had to take like 2 weeks just to do the math side of the economics course. And some people were not comfortable with it because they probably had an undergraduate economics module that was not too mathematical, and so they had not built that foundation before coming for their masters. Another question you can ask, did I study something similar previously? There you feel a bit more confident because you know some of the basics of the course. So this is it, the following from number 2. Am I confident that I have learned the basics of this course? So you need to know there are some foundational knowledge about your course that you need to know. And so when you have that confidence, when they start talking about various things, you are relaxed, you are not worried because you already know those things. When they start using acronyms or certain terminologies, you are confident because you already studied it, you know about it. And then the final and also one of the most important question is, does this course help me achieve my goals? So if your goal is to do a master's in international finance, a PhD in international finance, your master's degree should help you achieve that goal. That's the whole point. If your goal is to get a job in an international corporation, the course you are studying should be one of the things that would help you get that job. So that's the whole idea. You don't go into a course, finish it, and say, oh, what I want to do is different from what this course allows me to do, and then you start thinking of how to make it work, or you start thinking of how to study another course. It's important that you ask those questions so that you are positioned for your post-study goals. The other questions is so that you can excel on the course, because there's no point studying something that is too mathematical for you. Each time the lecturer is talking, the thing is flying over your head because you don't just get it. Meanwhile, in some other cases, it might be too essay based. So for example, people who study law have to read a lot, they have to write a lot, they have to review a lot. Some people don't like that. So if you're not comfortable with it, if it's not something you are confident studying, then asking this question means you have to find a way to resolve it. For some people, everything is perfect. Maybe they just need to work on one aspect of their course so that they can excel on it. But these are some important questions, and I'm going to share some examples why it is important, because through my studies I was able to see the impact of people evaluating their course or not while studying for their master's degree. But before we get to the example, I will cover what to do after evaluating your course. There are different things. Number one is nothing. You evaluate your course and you realize this is exactly what I need to be doing for me to get into a research career after my master's. An economics degree helps me perfectly, because when I'm putting together my final research paper, that will give me some experience of research, conducting research that will now help me get the job. Plus, most of the research roles I've checked, they ask for people who have studied a master's in economics. So therefore, it is perfect. There is nothing I need to do. I know the course, I'm confident, I just need to keep going. Number two, it could be possible that you realize that, oh, some bits are too mathematical. Why not I work hard to ensure that this part or this module, I do well in it. So you work hard on some things. You can take some courses here and there just to brush up. If you've forgotten some of the things they taught you at the undergraduate level, you can look up materials online. You can buy a textbook just to help you brush up. So for example, I had to buy a statistical textbook to remind me of some of the things I had done at the undergraduate level, and just to help me brush up and bring me up to speed. Number three, you might need to talk to a course convener on areas where you don't feel confident, just to get their advice. You say, please, I'm having a bit of a challenge in this module. How do you think I can go about making sure that I do well on this module? They can be able to advise you. They can give you some of their own materials. They can take some time off to put you through on some things. Where you don't feel confident, it's advisable to talk to somebody about it. And number four, which is the most extreme case, you might need to switch to another course. If you find out that this course is not for you, you can't cope with it, it's too theoretical for you, this is not what you want to do, this does not help you in your post-study goal, you need to now make that decision. It is possible to switch to another course, and that's what one of the things I'm happy about doing this course is to let people know that you are not stuck. That's what you need to know, you are not stuck. When I went abroad to study, I saw a lot of people that changed to other courses after about 3 weeks on the first course, and they said, this is not for me, this is not what I want to do. They moved to another course and were able to make the best of that new course. So let's talk about some examples of those who had to make decisions based on their discoveries of their course. So these are some real life examples during my study of people who had to make some decisions. Number one, the case study is someone enrolled into economics but had to switch to management even though his first degree was economics. So after taking the economics classes for about 2 weeks, he said his first degree was very different. Even though he did economics in Nigeria, he said to me, my first degree was not this mathematical. I don't have this kind of experience. I don't want to come and study a course where I fail. So I'm going to switch. He went to talk to the course convener. They gave him a course transfer form and he switched to international management. In the end, he graduated with a distinction in management, but he said economics was not for him and he was able to do that on time. Another case study was a friend who enrolled into international finance. Her own challenge was, in international finance they have a lot of terminologies and a lot of things that if you're not familiar with the field, it might be a bit difficult. So when she started, a lot of the people in her class, they were just always flowing, but she found it quite difficult. So she had to switch. She switched to management, and her first degree was agricultural economics. So you can see that her first degree had nothing to even do with the masters that she went to enroll into. And so it was a bit of a struggle. She wanted to change from agri-economics to international finance because she thought the job market would be more favorable to her. But she could not really do well on the international finance course. And when she was able to evaluate that this is not for her, before the term went too far, she was able to switch and then catch up with those in the management department. Then case study number 3, someone who enrolled into international economics. He did not switch. He studied economics. The challenge, however, was, I don't know why he didn't switch, because he struggled a lot with the international economics. And what ended up happening was that at the end he didn't complete his program. He had gone so far into it. In the second term, he was struggling. He had to rewrite some courses from first term. He just couldn't cope, and he ended up leaving that degree. And then number 4, which is my own story, I enrolled into economics. I didn't switch. I studied economics and statistics. So I had a stronger economics background in Nigeria. And so when I started my economics masters, it was easy for me to catch up. Even though I had to brush up myself, I had to do some extra things. But I realized that because the economics course was helping me with my post-study goal, it was worth sticking to. So it's not just about, when you start it's difficult, you run out of it. No, let your post-study goals be in your mind. I knew what I wanted after the study, so that helped me stay with my economics course despite the overmaths they were doing, despite the struggle, despite the hardship. Because of my post-study goal, it was worth it. I said, if I get a degree in economics, I can do so much more. I may not end up with a distinction because the course is so technical for me, but I would end up with so much knowledge, and I can still use that to do so much more. So that was my own case. It was tough, but I was ready to stick to it because my post-study goals were in sight. So you see, when I keep emphasizing know what you want, once you know what you want, you are not worried. You think about, how do I get there? So that's what this is about. It's not really about telling you to just change, but if you need to, I want you to know that there are choices. It is an option for you. So that's the knowledge I'm trying to bring here, because some people go abroad, they don't really know what is obtainable in the system and they get stuck. I want to make sure that as many people that take this course have as much information as possible. You can switch, you can stay on, but be ready to do the work, whatever the case may be. So that's the examples I have to share with you today. In summary, we've talked about, to evaluate your course means that you have assessed the fit of the course for you. it is different for everybody. For Mr. A, he loves it, he's okay. For Mr. B, he might not. And that's what happened in our case. One guy came, he went to a private university, they had not taught him so much in mathematical economics, he struggled. Another person came, oh, with a statistics background, I know much better, I was able to fit in. So for A is different, and for B it will be different. You have to think about you. To evaluate your course means you have assessed the right fit for you, and then you've also identified possible gaps and ways to bridge them, like we said in the list of action points I mentioned earlier. Do you need to get a textbook? Do you need to talk to your course convenor to help you in a specific module, or your tutor? Do you need to switch? Do you need to just work harder? So you identify your gaps and find your ways to bridge them. The whole idea is that you must excel at the end of the day. Whatever gets you to that point where you are satisfied and you know that you've done the very best you could possibly do, and you can look back and say, yes, this was the right decision, that is what you need to go with. And then you have a plan to help you make the most of whatever course you are studying. Whatever it is, have a plan that helps you make the most of it. When you have a goal in mind, it keeps you working, it keeps you striving, it keeps you working hard. Remember, start early and take action. As soon as you start your course, start thinking about it. When they mention the different modules, you look at them, see how each of them works for you, and then take action early by answering all the questions that I have asked in this module. In the workbook as well, you have places where you can answer those questions and list whatever action plan you need to take. Take action early and it will help you. So this is me saying thank you very much for staying till the end of this course. I can't wait to see you on the next module.